This video is for new technicians and also members of the PDR Advice Facebook group. What I want you to notice here are the very large crowns surrounding this damage, halfway through the fender and underneath the damage itself. The crowns are applying pressure that is holding this dent in place and will make it impossible to fix cleanly unless we handle them correctly. This is just me blabbing about the damage itself, but what I want you to see here in this video is the crowns are the key to all dents. In this video, we will use slapper tapper, different knockdowns, and a variety of other pushing tools which I will try to call out when they happen. There are a lot of schools of thought on how to fix a big dent like this, but for years I've been using this method successfully. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get into this dent and I'm going to pick up just enough to allow those crowns to soften up a bit. To accomplish this, I'm using a Blem double bend soft tip rod. It's got soft rubber tips on it so you don't cause any texture in the paint when you're picking up. After that first round of picking up, this is what we're left with. As you can see, the change isn't huge. All it is that middle has come up just a bit. But what that's gonna do is that's gonna make these crowns that I'm pointing at here wanna work with me a lot more. What's very important to remember is that patience is key. You want this entire dent to come up as one unit. If it doesn't, you're gonna have high spots and low spots. It's just not gonna be clean. I haven't mentioned yet, but I should. I just pushed my heat gun out of the way, but this dent has stayed very hot to avoid breaking the clear coat. I've started out with a knockdown with a similar tip to what was on the tool that I was using, and then I'm gonna move to a slapper tapper. Now the wonderful thing about Sal Contreras' slapper tapper is that you can knock things down really cleanly without causing little micro lows. I'm actually shooting metal back to where it was to begin with. When fixing large dents with crowns like this, you will spend probably 60 or 70% of your time knocking down. That is the key. Stop focusing on the dent so much and start really paying attention to your crowns and your waves and getting the metal back to where it was supposed to be in the first place. At some point when I feel like the crowns have been worked down enough, I'm just gonna repeat the process. I'm gonna get back in there with a tool and then I'm gonna pick it again. Now that the crowns have been softened, watch the video. You can actually see this dent move quite a bit more. Now, in all honesty, I did make a mistake. I did over push this a bit. I just did not take my time enough. Now that I've admitted that I did make a mistake, I will say this though. That dent would not have moved, even as cleanly as I got it, had that crowns not been taken care of to some extent. I caused a little extra work for myself, but that's okay. It's just more knockdown time. I know this is a long stretch of watching me use that slapper tapper, but the knocking down is so important. I want you to see me do it. Now I'm really focusing on that bottom crown and I'm pushing with that slapper tapper the metal back up into the damaged area. As you can see here, I have switched to a knockdown with a bit more sharp tip on it. Now I'm going through and I am fine tuning this thing. Also, I'm gonna get back on my slapper tapper, and the way the slapper tapper is designed, like I said before, you can actually push the metal back to where you want it to go. Notice how I move that forward as I go. I believe that the slapper tapper is worth every penny, but it is a bit expensive for a new tech. The same thing almost can be achieved if you put paint stir sticks together and tape them up. Now it's not going to be a substitution for the slapper tapper, but for now it should work. After that latest round of pushing and tapping down, you can see I did over push this dent. Of course, it's just going to take a little extra time for me to knock that down and then clean it up. Now note how the crowns have gone down significantly. Now again, it's just more cleanup work. And now you're gonna see it about 3/4 of the way done. Now I'm gonna get in there with a sharper tool and I'm gonna pick up those little micro lows. It takes a little bit of time, but that's your cleanup. In review, it is so important that you pay attention to the crowns. If those crowns had not moved, that dent would not have come out clean. So absolutely pay attention to your knockdown game. Push clean, take your time, move everything as a unit. Here is after without the light on it. If you want to see the after with the light, you can head over to the PDR advice page or PDR before and after videos page. The reason I'm showing this is what the customer sees. Very clean, the texture's great, and it's ready to deliver. Thanks again. If you have any questions, feel free to head over to the PDR advice page once again. Also, make sure you check out my tool reviews. My tool reviews can be found on YouTube as Dent Tool Freaks. Check out that page. All kinds of good reviews on different kinds of tools. It'll probably save you some money in the long run because I don't lie, I just tell it how it is. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more tutorials.